So my mom passed away, right? November 20th. It's like the worst day of my life. The nurse left the room, and for a second, I was like, why are you leaving me here with my mom's body? Like, I don't know why. I panicked. My heart was pounding out of my chest. She walked out of the room, the nurse, and she closed the door behind her, and I just started panicking, and I don't know why. All of a sudden, I realized all this stuff I had been through that last month and watched her go through, the suffering was over. This is just the body. This is the vessel that we use when we're here on earth. And there's nothing to be scared of. I can't explain to you guys, like, I just never thought that this was something I'd be able to go through by myself. You don't realize how strong you are until you have to go through something by yourself like that. I got up and I grabbed my phone and I sat there for a couple of minutes with my mom's body now. And I said, yeah, I'm going to call my brother. So I call my brother up. I tell him that she died. He says, okay, I'm coming up to the hospital. This male nurse comes in, and it was so nice of him. He brought a whole box of coffee and all these donuts, and the nurses came in and they gave me a card that the whole staff had signed. And I don't know why, the first thing in my brain, it was almost like my mom, like, came into my head, you know? And I was like, the first thing I thought is I was like, oh my God, I need to grab her phone and her iPad right now. Not because of the value, not because of any other reason, except I knew my mom would be mortified if my brother saw her text messages. I grabbed her phone and her iPad and I went downstairs and I started making phone calls and telling everybody. My brother had come up to the hospital in the meantime with Satan and their kid. I called my husband and then my Aunt Debbie's daughter, we'll call her Kristen. She called me up and I was on the phone with her for a while telling her about all the shit I'd gone through, all the stuff that was happening in the last couple of months. And in my head, I was thinking, you know, hopefully she'll tell my Aunt Debbie and my Aunt Debbie will understand. And then I said, you know, I gotta go. I have to go back upstairs. Probably have to sign papers. God knows what else, you know? So I go back up the elevator. I go walk into the room and the nurses had kind of cleaned my mom up and they shut her eyes and folded her hands and everything so she didn't look so scary looking. Because, put it this way, my mom looked so scary that even my girlfriend, who was a nurse, who saw this shit all the time, told me, Leanna, I see this shit all the time. All the time. And I gotta tell you, your mom's looks really scary. That's like the scariest I've seen that last night. That vision of her that last night was burned into my brain, like seared into my brain. I'm not exaggerating with you guys or being dramatic. Every time I closed my eyes, that was all I saw for months and months. I walk in the room, right? And my brother and Satan are sitting in there and they have the baby with them who was, you know, about 1.5 at this point, maybe a little like, I don't know, 1 and whatever. And the baby's running around the room and pulling the blankets and Satan's sitting there laughing. And I'm just like, thinking in my head, I'm like, this is so fucking inappropriate. Like, why is the baby in here right now? Seriously, why is the baby running around the room? And she's like, oh, so-and-so's coming up to get the baby. Blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, shut the fuck up. It was just like, what the hell, you know? And I say to my brother, it's not really worth everybody coming here, you know? We're gonna have a funeral. I said, why is everybody gonna come here? My mom's family, you know? I was like, they're gonna drive all the way out here and for what? She's gone. So I said, just, you know, I don't know. I at the time, I think I was just so tired. I just didn't want to like deal with these people. I just wanted to go home. I hadn't been home in 3 days, like straight. I was just like, I just want to go home. I need to go home. So it's probably around like 11 o'clock now, right? They stand up and all of a sudden my brother goes, we made an appointment with the funeral home at 3 o'clock. I look at him and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? We don't have to do that today. Why would you do that? I swear to God, this is what he says to me. No, Thanksgiving's Thursday. I said to him, I go, are you fucking kidding me? I go, who gives a fuck about Thanksgiving? I couldn't believe it, dude. So he's like, oh, well, you gotta be there at 3 o'clock. Him and Satan get up, empty baby stroller, and just fucking leave. So I forgot to mention while we were there, somebody had come. I think it was Satan's mother. Somebody came and picked the baby up. So they were there with this empty baby stroller. Leave me, once again, to take care of everything. My mom was in the hospital for a total of 33 days, which meant all sorts of people came up and visited her. She had a lot of friends that came up, and everybody brought gifts and food and all different shit, plus all her clothes and everything. I mean, a month worth of shit was sitting up in this hospital room and had accumulated. They did not offer to help carry one thing downstairs. They didn't fucking help at all. In fact, as soon as I said, not to have the family come up, they jumped up like a jack-in-the-box and ran out of the hospital. So I had to go downstairs, okay? I got an extra wide wheelchair that they use for like obese people. Rolled that upstairs, filled it, went downstairs to my car, filled my car up, came back upstairs, filled it again, went downstairs, dropped it off, and then carried the rest of the shit out on my shoulders. 3 trips. These motherfuckers had a whole baby carriage empty and don't even offer to help me carry anything out of the hospital. They just like, bye. I couldn't believe it. I had not slept now in 3 days. I was exhausted. I just wanted to go home that day, sit on the couch with my husband and my son, who I haven't seen in a month really, and process what I just went through. My mom died that morning. We could have waited to go to the funeral home a day or so. No, they make an appointment that day. So by the time I get home, it's like 12:30. I felt like a fucking walking zombie at this point in time. I hadn't slept in days. And I'm just like, oh my God. I cannot believe I have to go to the funeral home today. It couldn't wait because, Thanksgiving's coming. It's the last thing I care about. Because in my head, I'm thinking, since Thanksgiving is coming, let's do the funeral after. Why can't we go to the funeral home tomorrow? I could not believe these 2 assholes had already called the funeral home and made an appointment for that day. I know that's because of Satan, because this girl is a chronic planner. Like, she probably plans when she's gonna take a shit and how many times she's gonna fold the toilet paper to wipe her ass. That's the kind of person she is. And I'm like, I have a say here. I don't know if you've realized that, but like, this is kind of like my mom. So, what the fuck are you doing? I don't need you to plan anything for me. Just get the fuck out of my way. I was so angry. So I get home, 12:30 now. I walked in my front door and me and my husband just grabbed each other and my son. And we're crying. We're all sitting there crying for a while. We sat, we talked for a little bit. I was exhausted. I was so sleep deprived at this point in time. And I'm like, I cannot believe this. I drove away from that hospital the last time and it was just like, what the hell just happened? Knowing about somebody dying, that doesn't change anything because I've been through both and it's still shocking. Even when you know the person's dying, you're still in shock. Whatever. My mom was a transplant recipient and she had signed papers in the hospital to donate whatever she could. And at that point in time, obviously, since her organs were pretty much destroyed by the cancer, the only thing they had left was her eyes. And so, let me rewind here. This is part of the story that I forgot. After my brother and Satan left, I was up and down, carrying all this stuff down. And then I think I got back on the phone with my cousin and I was talking to her for a little bit. And I guess the nurses and everybody thought I left the hospital at that point in time. So I went back up just to make sure I had gotten everything, right? When I go back up, I open the door to the room and, there's like this group of medical students standing around my mom's bed. All of a sudden I look over and my mom's laying there and they had taped these cotton balls over her eyes with like X's. It was very shocking to see that. The doctor who was, teaching, she's like, oh my God. She's like freaking out, I'm so sorry. Once she explained why that was, I was okay. I was like, all right, they taped her eyes so that they could preserve them to possibly be donated. And so while I was home, I get this phone call from the eye donation bank and, they're asking me a bunch of questions. It took like an hour, this whole phone call, right? That by the time I hung up with them, I had to leave. As soon as I hung up the phone with these people, I had to get in my car and go down to the funeral home. My husband took my son over to my brother-in-law's house, and I said, I don't give a fuck. My husband's coming with me. Because you know what? This girl is not bullying me around for this. No. This fucking girl was itching for a beatdown. Let me just tell you guys. One of my aunts, I believe, told me while my mom was in the hospital that Satan was offering up my mom's house for the family to go hang out at between, viewings. I just want to put this into perspective. This girl had a party at her house for her friend, but didn't offer her house. She offers my mom's house. This fucking bitch has some nerve. She really does. So then it changed. And it changed because I think my mom's youngest sister told her, that's a little weird, Satan. I don't know if my sister would like that. And they wanted to go to this pub, this Irish pub. So we all get into the funeral home. It's so awkward, because now I have to sit there with my brother and talk to him, and I'm so angry with him. That whole day when the funeral home came up to the hospital, we got nothing done, nothing accomplished, because we still had to do the same thing we did at the hospital, which was just fill out like a paper. So all of a sudden, right, they're asking all these questions, basic questions, right? All of a sudden, they're like, did Carol have life insurance? Now, mind you guys, my mom just died that morning, a couple of hours, right? And also keep in mind, it was a Sunday. Satan goes, I had one of my underwriters run her insurance. She had 3 insurance policies, but they were all expired. Me and my husband, we look at each other. This bitch had her underwriters run my mom's name through some computer to find out if she had life insurance? Already? You were already doing that. Wow. Good to know. My leg was like, I'm just sitting there and I'm like, oh my God, Liana, please don't get up and knock this bitch out. This bitch is about to end up in one of the caskets. I cannot believe this girl ran my mom's life insurance already. Wow. So they're telling me that my mom had 3 life insurance policies and 2 of them had lapsed. And I'll say it like Satan. 2 of them have lapsed due to non-payment. Sounded a little shady to me because, dude, my mom was like very good with her bills. If she had bills, they were always paid on time. My mom was never late with her bills. Ever. Ever. I was sick. I was sick to my stomach. So we talk about everything. We picked out the mass card. Me and my brother were agreeing on everything, so far. Everything's good, We go downstairs to, my favorite place.
The showroom of death.
Yay! We were down there. We pick out a casket. We picked one out that kind of like matched her furniture in her house. It's like mahogany, whatever. And we go into the gift area where they have all the urns. I always thought my mom wanted to be buried, but I don't know. She had said to my Aunt Debbie that she wanted to be cremated. And my brother had mentioned that. And we decided we were going to cremate her and mix her ashes with my dad's ashes in the urn. Obviously, somebody's going to take this. So I said, we'll bring my dad's urn in. I took my dad's urn that my mom picked out. And my brother got another one. And while we're sitting there, I saw these like cute little urns, little mini urns. And this thought just came in my head of my mom. The last thing she had really said to me, like consciously, was when I asked her, what do you want? And she goes, I just want my family. Those were like her last real words to me. And I asked my brother, I said, would you be okay if we got one for each brother and sister and my grandmother and gave them some of my mom's ashes? And my brother was like, oh yeah, that's a great idea, blah, 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 blah. So I was like, okay. While we were looking, right, all of a sudden I'm like, wait a second. I said, we went through this whole thing. When are we having the wake? My brother goes, oh, well, I was thinking, since Thanksgiving's on Thursday, we'll do it Tuesday and Wednesday. I was like, are you kidding me? What about people that live out of state? I'm thinking in my head, my mom has a cousin that lives in Florida. My best friend lives in Maryland. We should give people that live out of state an opportunity to be able to come and, drive in. And he's like, oh, and I started arguing, and my husband was like, Lana, just stop arguing. And I'm like, what? I didn't even have it in me to argue at this point in time. So I was like, okay, great. Now I have 24 hours to prepare for my mom's wake. This should be fun. So anyway, while we were in the funeral home, Satan got pissed off because my brother said it. He's like, oh yeah, I was thinking we could go to Flanagan's pub. And I turn around, and I say my mom's maiden name, and I go, we're Italian. We ain't going to no Flanagan's. I said, you think mommy would want corned beef and cabbage or raviolis at her wake? I said, told them to go to this Italian restaurant and see if they could fit us in between the service, right? And Satan was so pissed off. I'm like, sorry, bitch, we're not going to an Irish pub. Satan's Irish, just to let you know. Like, this isn't your mom's funeral. When your mom dies, you could bring everybody to an Irish pub. Great. This is my mom, and she was Italian, and so we're going to go to an Italian restaurant. Thanks. She got all pissy pants because she's such a fucking cunt. So we walk out, we're walking to our cars, and she didn't even say goodbye. She just got in the car and sat there. And so me, my brother, and my husband are standing in the parking lot. And my brother's like, it's gonna be real easy. We'll get rid of mom's house. We'll have an estate sale. We'll get rid of everything. And then blah, 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 blah. It's just Bye. Bye, Carol stuff. See ya. Like, he's already planning estate sales in his head. I'm like, this guy is fucking out of his mind. Let's just get through the week, okay? Before we left the funeral home, they told us that I needed to bring them an outfit by 12 o'clock the next day. Great. Sales. You know, I also have to add here, Satan never once, not once, that whole entire day, offered her condolences to me. Never said sorry for your loss. Never said sorry about your mom. Nothing. My husband went up to my brother, hugged him, and, told him he was sorry. So that really goes to show what kind of person she is. I have to go through my mom's closet now. I have to go get pictures. I go to CVS. I buy poster boards. The funeral home gave me like 2 poster boards. But I was like, you never met my mom's family. Like 2 poster boards ain't gonna cut it. So I had to go to CVS, buy these poster boards, right? Then I had to go to my mom's house. My husband went and picked my son up. And once again, I was by myself. I'm not mad at my husband. I mean, somebody had to watch my kid. So he goes and picks my son up because he didn't want to take advantage because we knew that we were going to need somebody to watch my son in the next couple of days, And I go to my mom's house. Walking into my mom's house for the first time after she passed away, when I brought her to the hospital that day, I didn't know that we weren't coming back home. So her house was left just as it was when she was living there. It was so surreal to come back and know that my mom's never coming back in this house again. Ever. Ever. It was really fucking weird walking in there for the first time. So I was like, I really don't want to be alone, here. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to call my Aunt Debbie. I wanted to give her an opportunity to participate in picking my mom's outfit out. I was like, I can't even think right now. I hadn't slept in 3 days and now I have to go to her house and pick an outfit out and go through her clothes. My mom with clothes, forget it. My mom always was like, I have nothing to wear. I hate all my clothes. I didn't know what the fuck to put her in. I mean, I couldn't put her in anything that had a low neck because she was all bruised up from the dialysis. I call my Aunt Debbie up and she answers the phone. Now, I didn't know this at the time, but she was at my Aunt Betty's house. But she answered the phone and I'm crying and I'm like, could you please come over? And she's like, okay. She got there within a half hour. She comes in, and we're in my mom's room and we're picking out outfits and we're laying everything out and we're talking and everything was fine. So we got an outfit picked out, right? It took us a good hour. And at this point in time, her neighbor, Jeannie, was home and she saw us there. So she came in to say sorry to me. And now it's me, her, and my Aunt Debbie. And we're all looking for my dad's wedding band because I'm like, I want to put that on her, for the wake. Aunt Debbie's daughter called and asked if she could come over too. So she was on her way there. So we're all looking all over my mom's room in every jewelry box. All of a sudden my aunt found it. For some reason, I don't know why, my mom had it in her drawer, tucked under all her clothes in this little pouch, And I was so happy we found that thing, right? So Jeannie leaves, my cousin's on her way, and it's now just me and my aunt. We picked out the outfit, whatever, right? So we're just kind of sitting there. And my Aunt Debbie, I don't know, she was so weird that day. And she was like, I can't believe it. I just can't believe it, And I'm like, yeah, me neither. So she goes, I knew something was wrong. I knew it wasn't good when we went on that trip. I told you guys about this. My aunt took my mom on the guilt trip, I call it, before my mom passed away. And she's like, I knew something was wrong. Your mom never posted pictures from that trip. So she's like, where's her camera? So my mom had a DSLR camera, pretty nice one. So she's like, yeah, I want to see those pictures. So I was like, all right. So we go get her camera and we're looking through her camera. And my Aunt Debbie's like, you should take the camera. You should take this. You should take that. The whole night she's telling me I should take things, right? My cousin gets there. We order pizza. We eat the pizza. We're all sitting there talking. And as we're eating the pizza, my Aunt Debbie's phone rings. It's Aunt Betty. So I hear her on the phone and she's like, yeah, Betty? Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're at your house? Oh, okay. Oh, you eat macaroni? All right. Yeah, she's going to come. Leanna, you're going to come, right? Leanna, you're going to come over to Aunt Betty. She has macaroni and stuff. All right. Yeah, she's going to come. Leanna, you're going to come, right? Leanna, you're going to come over to Aunt Betty. She has macaroni and stuff. I look at the clock, okay? And while my mom was in the hospital, daylight savings happens. So my mom's clocks are still an hour and ahead. And I'm looking and I'm like, it was already at her house, it said it was 8 o'clock or 8:30. And I'm like, I'm not driving all the way out to where they live, which is like at least 25 minutes away, but more like 40 minutes away from my house. I mean, I'm thinking like I haven't slept in 3 days. I'm exhausted. I just want to go home and be with my husband and my son. I look at the clock and I go, it's like 8:30. I go, I don't think so. I said, I think I'm just going to go home, you know? So all of a sudden, my Aunt Debbie, on the phone with Aunt Betty still, she goes, yeah, she's going to come. She said she'll come. I'm sitting there like, why are you telling her that I'm coming? I want to go home and sleep. I haven't slept in 3 days. So she hangs up the phone and she's like, your brother and his wife are there. This one's there, that one's there, and da-da-da. They're drinking wine. And Aunt Betty made macaroni. And I come to find out later that they were already there for like hours. So like I'm supposed to accept this half-assed last-minute invite from them. I'm thinking, oh, my brother and Satan are there? Yeah, that's the last place on earth I want to be right now. We finish up our pizza, throw everything away. It's me, her, and her daughter, my cousin Kristen, we'll call her. I go get photo albums, right? We flip through one photo album. Right? We get through one photo album, and all of a sudden my Aunt Debbie's like, all right, I'm gonna go. My cousin was mortified, and I could tell she was. My cousin actually said something. She was like, Ma, you're at Aunt Betty's house all the time. Like, and my aunt's like, all right, I'm gonna go. Bye. Psh, out the door. You know what? I didn't even think of it because I was so just like tired and shocked and upset and everything that day. I didn't even think of it until like a couple of days later. But I was like, wow, that was really fucked up. Like, whose mom died that day? My mom died. My aunt was like annoyed with me that I didn't want to go to Aunt Betty's house and eat macaroni and drink fucking wine. Like, she was actually annoyed with me. And so she got up and left. And I'm thinking, like, I have not been home with my own child and my husband for a month. No offense. I'm sorry I don't want to go to your little macaroni party. But, you know, I'm kind of tired and I don't know. My mom died that morning. So I kind of just wanted to go home and sleep. My cousin and I hung out for a little while longer. Took a bunch of pictures and I was like, I just gotta go home. I'm so tired. Again now, I didn't sleep really because I had to be up early, bright and early, because we gotta get my mom's funeral started. ASAP, Thanksgiving's coming. So again, I was up until about 3 o'clock in the morning putting pictures, like literally pinning these pictures, and my eyes are like rolling into the back of my head because I haven't slept. I can't make this shit up. I'm gonna end this one here.